The Local Lead Action Plan Guide, or LLAP Guide, is an online voluntary resource available on EPA's website for local government officials to identify lead issues in their local area and develop a sustainable targeted action plan using the LLAP template. Step-by-step instructions to using the guide are available on the main webpage. The recommended first step is to complete the 3 LLAP guide checklists designed to help local government officials gain a better understanding of local lead issues and potential solutions. The second step is to create a local lead action plan using the customizable LLAP template. The third step is to access a repository of resources that may be beneficial to local government officials throughout the implementation process. Officials that may have additional questions or would like further guidance or assistance with their plans and implementation are advised to reach out to their respective EPA regional lead contact. Given that officials may have very different levels of knowledge about lead and may know only very little or are not even aware about lead in some of the other media, prior to designing a local lead action plan, local officials may find it helpful to gather data and assess the current lead issues. 3 checklists are designed to encourage officials to get a more holistic understanding of local lead issues and potential solutions. And for best results, the checklist should be completed in the numbered order. Completed checklists will capture the answers to prompting questions about local lead data and history, current lead issues, and opportunities to address lead. Each checklist is recommended to download in Adobe Acrobat for best user experience. Local government officials can fill out their information, such as name, local area, and email in the boxes provided. Users will read each individual question. For example, the first question asks, are there reports or data on blood lead levels of the population in your area? And check yes if they know of reports or data, and then have the availability to type in their notes. Or if they're unsure, officials can click on the no or question mark, and both boxes will prompt resources to pop up in the resources box to point to additional information. Users can then copy the resource URLs and visit the corresponding web pages. Checklist 1 looks to assess local lead history and data, so collecting background information on lead in the local area, and features questions on lead exposure and lead poisoning, past local initiatives to address lead, lead in all different media, including soil, in homes, in the air, lead in child-occupied facilities, different cultural practices, occupations or hobbies that may cause lead exposure, and other pertinent background information. Each checklist has a bottom section for officials to briefly summarize their findings and outline specific concerns and goals. Any lead concerns identified can become goals to achieve, and any gaps identified can become potential opportunities and activities in the local lead action plan. The checklist can then be saved, and users will move on to checklist 2. Checklist 2 helps officials identify potential lead issues in their local area, prompting users to evaluate potential lead issues that are happening now based on any background knowledge or current observations, and evaluate questions about testing or available data indicating potential issues in homes and schools built before 1978, different various structures, in children's blood, in various medias, in any products or hobbies, any lead contaminated sites, land, or structures, any new lead hazards from renovations or demos, in drinking water from emissions. End users will then once again summarize their findings and note specific concerns and goals. They can then save the checklist and move on to checklist 3. Checklist 3 helps officials identify opportunities to address lead issues in their local area and is the most comprehensive checklist of the three. It looks to prompt officials to consider a broad list of potential opportunities that they may have not considered previously. Questions include addressing lead in a local area's guiding documents or plans, specific opportunities to monitor childhood lead poisoning, including programs to fund free blood lead level testing for children, or programs to investigate lead in a child's environment if they are found to have an elevated blood lead level. Different already established programs like CHIP or Medicaid, evaluating local entities that may have programs already addressing lead-related issues, potential federal, state, or local funding streams, if training is available for those in lead-related professions, specifying if a respective state, tribe, or territory is EPA authorized to administer its own RRP program or lead abatement program. Do pre-1978 schools integrate lead safety into their operations? Even if the local area has a lead ordinance or local lead law? And any additional entities that were not previously described, if they have any interest in reducing or eliminating lead exposure. And then the summary section, the concerns and goals, and save the checklist. Once all three checklists have been completed, officials can then access the local lead action plan template to begin developing their own local lead action plan. This resource is also recommended to download in Adobe Acrobat for best user experience. Users begin by filling out their information, capturing features like a mission statement to describe the plan's vision, and the main 3 to 5 concerns identified by the previous checklist. Officials can then copy and paste their concerns and goals identified in the completed checklist in these interactive boxes, and write in additional concerns or goals that may have not been included before. The template prompts officials to fill in short-term goals of 6 months to 2 years and long-term goals of 2 to 5 years, and then the priority actions that can be taken to achieve these short and long-term goals. Details include estimated time frame needed for the action, the current status, critical steps to accomplish the action, the target demographic, and potential partners who can help, as well as any other relevant information. Officials have the space to fill in 3 priority actions using this template, but can add additional actions by filling out another blank template. Users can then fill in future steps to ensure sustainability of their plan. So how it will be implemented, when they will meet with partners and stakeholders, and how they will monitor progress, and when they will make revisions. Throughout the development of their local lead action plan and after completing their plan, local officials can find both the implementation and strategies for success pages as resources for support. Although implementation is beyond the scope of this guide and really becomes dependent on the local area's unique needs, the implementation page contains best practices and valuable resources to support officials throughout the process. These resources include potential funding opportunities, educational materials, federal lead reports, different informational videos, online tools including EPA's EJ screen, listservs, websites, and resources for additional questions or concerns. The LLAP guide remains a living document, and resources on all checklists and the implementation pages will be continually updated or edited based on the best available resources. The last page on the LLAP guide is the Strategies for Success page that contains best practices and potential strategies for local government officials to develop their local lead action plans. This page contains 2 case studies from cities in the Mid-Atlantic region, Lynchburg, Virginia, and Reading, Pennsylvania, that successfully developed and implemented their local lead action plans. It also features their lead action plans that were formatted using the current local lead action plan template. For example, if we click on Reading, Pennsylvania, we can read through the inception of how the city started their plan, what unique priority actions the Reading team identified, including building local capacity and garnering public support to create a sustainable lead program. This page also contains narrative for LLAP strategies, such as using your local lead action plan as a starting point, remaining flexible and open to opportunities, raising awareness and engaging partners and stakeholders throughout different training and outreach opportunities, mapping lead presence to find areas within your community that may be more vulnerable to lead, and exploring many additional opportunities like updating existing or developing new local laws or ordinances, providing or receiving technical assistance and education on lead, and forming additional collaborations, partnerships, and coalitions.